Keeping the swine in line. What up, yo? Got a little rant to do. How's my audio? My audio okay? Hot there. It's nice here today. It's a little overcast. We got some rain and, thunderstorms around us and whatnot. 5x5 word. Yeah, I got a little. I need like a. I had a I don't want to call it I don't know, situation, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I had I wanted to go to the Louse County Sheriff's Department today. Well, I had to go to the Louse County Sheriff's Department today for some reasons. And while I was there, I figured for the hell of it, I would get their department policies. And I've been kind of curious about something with the speeding tickets of how the sheriffs like to park in a no parking zone during school hours when you're not legally allowed to park there to extort speeders after they speed through the school zone and put kids in danger. So while I was there, I wanted to get a FOIA request to get their department policies and how many tickets they issued for 2024 during the school season and how much money they generated from them tickets. And so when I went there, I first went into the clerk's office. Clerk was out at lunch still. They're like, "Oh, you got a few minutes, she'll be back shortly." Sure, no problem. I got time to burn. I'm not in no big hurry. And so while I was there, while I was waiting, I figured I'd walk down to the sheriff's department because they're all in one building. So I walked down to the sheriff's department. They got just a little office there. I figured maybe I could ask them for the policy because that's something I think they could and probably should have readily available for people. You shouldn't have to fill out a FOIA request for that. So I went in there. Nobody was in the office. This old lady was across the hallway dealing with somebody else. She came in immediately, asked me what I needed. I told her what I needed. She went and got the sheriff. The sheriff came out. I was telling him what I needed and what I wanted. He handed me a FOIA request. Okay, so far so good. So I asked him, he says, "Fill this out." I said, "Can you fill this FOIA request out for me?" He goes, "No." And he was real strict and straight. "No." You know what I mean? And I says, "Well, Americans with Disabilities requires you to do so. I'm dyslexic. I have a hard time reading, writing, blah, blah, blah." Hit him with the whole spiel, And that's part of the testing. I am dyslexic. I can read and write. But when I'm doing FOIA requests, it's part of my testing that I do to see if they comply with Americans with the Disability. And that's how I do my testing. And so he threw a big old fit. He took the FOIA request from me. He goes, "I'll fill it out when I get some time." He stomps off real quick, puts the FOIA request with zero information on it in some little clear slot box that's screwed to a door, and proceeds to walk away. Now, mind you, when I went in there doing this, I had no intentions of doing an audit. I just wanted some basic, simple information. I happened to be there. I had some time to burn. And the reason I was there is because my mom had some business. So I had to give her a ride there because she don't have a license. And she's working on getting that back. And that's why we were there. So while she's off doing her own thing, I figured I would go see if I couldn't get that. Now I'm very far been smoking. Hawk fan, what up? Gloria, what up? Department policies. And so I figured I'd just do that. So I didn't want a video. I didn't want to create no issues for my mom or nothing. So I didn't want a video. And as soon as he copped his attitude, snatched that from me, I knew what time it was. I had my phone on me. I just whipped my phone out and I started videoing right away. And by that time, by that time, it's into me, redressing grievance. You know what I'm saying? So so I whipped my phone out, and this reason, another reason I'm doing this live is basically so I can cut an intro out of this real quick for this video that's about to come out. And so I whipped my video out, my camera out, called him out on his bullshit, and the secretary, she came back in the room real quick, and she proceeded to assist me after the sheriff told me no, he wouldn't assist me. He didn't care about the Americans with disabilities, get bent and walked away from me, is what he did. Dude's a complete a-hole. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for that lady, my FOIA request wouldn't have been filled today. And I don't do FOIA requests. But some simple ones like that, I mean, a department policy, that should, you know what I mean? I don't like FOIA requests. I don't do paperwork, but I wanted their policy, and I have reasons for it. And I was curious about the revenue from them tickets. Well, it turns out that the sheriff is an a-hole. You know what I mean? You guys seen the thumbnail. Eric Gravelle. So that's the sheriff for Louse County. And so the nice lady she did help me. You'll see in the video, the nice lady, she ended up helping me. She kind of covered for his butt, but she also lied for his butt. You know what I mean? Oh, he's got to go. He's got something he's got to go do, blah, blah. Well, if he had something he had to go do, why did he have the time to come out and assist me to begin with? It's because when I asked him to fill out the FOIA request, he didn't want to do his job. And I called him out on it. Luckily, the secretary saved his butt. She did the job. FOIA request is put in. I'll be getting that policy. Then I went down to the clerks, handled business down there, and I put in a FOIA request for the security camera footage from the lobby of the sheriff's department to try to make up for the video that I didn't have because, like I said, I wasn't there to audit. I just wanted some basic information. Well, the dude's a dick. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna end up cutting it. Hopefully I put enough good information in this live that I can cut me a quick little intro to give people a context to what's going on. Yeah, I don't know why they act like that neither. You know what I mean? And what that tells me in the end is if somebody who genuinely can't read or write, ask them to fill out that FOIA request, and if it's up to the sheriff, you're fucked. He'll get pissed and he'll walk away. He'll turn his back on you and he'll walk away and he'll treat you like crap. That's what that sheriff will do. He did it to me today. And I told him, shame on him. Called him a dick and everything. So I've kind of got most of it edited already. This little live right now is going to be my little intro. I'm going to edit out of it. So when I'm done with this, it's going to be members only. For any members that ain't here and didn't see what's going on. Peace, Dynamo. I seen ya. Thanks for stopping in. Hawk fan. Gloria. Jeff. What up? Jeff hates pigs. So's Big Mike. Cage and Randy. What up, yo? Anytime I see Jeff hates pigs, all I can take is delete loss. Say Jeff hates pigs. Big Mike hates pigs too. But yeah, it was interesting, and honestly, it's the first what I would classify as a bad interaction with law enforcement I've really ever had. You know what I mean? I've had a few in my day. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was on the other side of being the bad guy, you know, and even then they weren't complete dicks to me, other than when they raided my house for the weed and trashed my place and cut the string on my bow and spit on audio equipment and spit chew on audio equipment. Yeah, you know, those guys were dicks too. Come in your house maxed up like a bunch of thugs. Not feeling good today, Gloria? Yeah, in the end, I think he is like most of them. You know what I mean? He had no desire to help. You know, Buzz, what up? He was completely rude, short. You know what I mean? An asshole. It was I ain't doing it, and turned his back on me and walked away. I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? I mean, I can believe it. You know what I mean? But it was still shocking. You know what I'm saying? The only time I ever see stuff like that happen is on YouTube. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen to me. And I will say, from all my experiences so far with the law enforcement in my area, Mackinac County has been the best ones I've dealt with so far. Louse County, as of now, have been the worst. And their neighbors. I live in Mackinac County, but because of how rural it is, a lot of stuff that we do for like to go grocery shopping and stuff like that, we go to Louse County, which is a 15-mile drive to go to the grocery store. You know what I mean? So, so I have an invested interest in that area as well as where I live. You know what I mean? I A lot of business I do is over there, whether it be doctors, getting the car fixed, oil changes, grocery shopping. You know what I'm saying? So I'm part of that community just as much as anybody else. You know. Yeah, and that dude's was an a-hole. So I ain't been feeling good for 2 weeks. Oh shit. Hopefully it's something you can get over. So I ended up doing three FOIA requests, and then I ended up having to go back to do a third one. So I got a couple sections in the video, and then on my way home, you start processing things. I'm like sunny beaches. Now I'm gonna have to do more FOIA requests because now to prove a point, I'm gonna have to go make them give me how much instead of looking it up myself, even though I can. I'm gonna make him tell me how much he makes, his oath of office, all that kind of good jazz. Just to be an a hole. You know, be an a hole to me, I'll be an a hole to you. I'll tell people how much we pay for you to treat us like crap. You know what I'm saying? I have no problems taking the time to do that. I'm not one of them guys that like have a bone with any specific department or anything like that. And I may even go to their next meeting, public meeting, which I already looked up is July 15th, 4:30, at the county building in the big courtroom. So I may go there and redress my grievances and let them know I think that dude's an asshole and what he did was disrespectful. And if he treats me like that, I'm sure he treats lots of people like that. Matter of fact, I've had somebody else send me some audio of a conversation that was had with, from my understanding, I had to go back and listen. It's been a while, but was with the deputy sheriff, I believe. Here's my thing, if we can't get these people on the basic ground floor of government, our most local, our town, cities, villages, whatever little part you are, if we can't get them in order, then we can't get the sheriffs in order. And if we can't get the sheriffs in order, we can't get the state in order. If we can't get the state in order, there's no way in hell we can get the federal in order. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. So it starts from the ground up. And when it comes down to it, sheriff's like one of the head honchos of a county. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, state can take him over, but they've got to have good reason. And we don't have city cops up here. It's county and state. So, in a couple places, there's city cops. You know what I mean? B6 bottomed out. I don't know nothing about it. Can't give no advice or I don't know what it makes you feel like. I wish I had some knowledge or wisdom to spread on that topic. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. That's all right. I used my new Excalibur on them. State police everywhere are bad. You know what I mean? City cops, depending on what kind of city you live in, aren't usually too bad. Sheriffs can be hit and miss, it seems like. States are usually dicks, you know, and then on the federal, they're just completely unruly, and there ain't nothing you can, appears to be nothing we can do about them. You know what I mean? Something you can take vitamins for to help correct. You know what I mean? Get you some shots, some sun. No, that's vitamin D, ain't it? Oh yeah. We've recently gotten a bunch of new state police added to the roster here in Michigan. I keep seeing them post new ones on Facebook. And of course, I say, "Oh, worship your newest ruler and Nazi, the Michigan State Domestic Terrorist Squad." You know, just what we need, more of them. You know, I don't believe in that. Got enough of them. But anyways, that's all I really wanted to get on here and rant about. I'm gonna cut like hopefully about 60 seconds, minute and a half of me ranting. The E6 and the resource. Oh, nice. So that should get you on track then. Here, before you know it, you should be feeling good then, all right? A couple more days, maybe. Let it really soak in. Bill O'Reilly, what up? I guess maybe not the first time I've seen you in my chat, but I've seen you around. State police, prison state, death state. That sounds about right. When's the video coming out? I don't know. I might finish editing it up today. What's today? Today's Wednesday, right? I might put it out Friday or Saturday. I have to look at my analytics, see which one kind of looks best. But as soon as I get it done and upload it, I'll put my members first on it. So I should have it up a good 24 hours before I release it, though. It's not going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. It'll be like Friday or Saturday. But as soon as I get it done, for my members, I'll have it. You guys will get to see it first. Yeah. And the ladies who did my FOIA request, they were really good. I didn't ask a bunch of names, you know what I mean? Because in the moment, it's like it's raw, you know what I'm saying? It's the heat of the moment. All Big Mike's acting fully on instinct, you know what I'm saying? So you know, he was disrespectful when I called him on his shit. He's just a little guy too. I think he was intimidated by my size. That's why he ran. For all I know, he could be watching right now. I mean, after all, I left my email. And if he's any kind of investigator, you know what I mean? When your email name's the same as your channel name. If he's one just left, it dropped from 11 to 10. That must have been him dipping out because I called him out. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put the guy on blast. He's an a-hole. It's unfortunate. He could have just done the right thing. And if he didn't want to, instead of just being an a-hole, he could have just called the secretary in and said, hey, can you handle this? You know what I mean? And then she's like, and he booked out. She's like, oh, he had her on. I was bullshit. That's a cop out. He had time to come out of his office, dig the FOIA request out of a file cabinet for me. You know what I mean? He had the time to do all that. But the moment I needed his assistance to fill it out, boom, instant D. You know what I mean? All of it. He's a little one too. So. And the reason he's sheriff, after doing a little bit of reading, is for his first term, if I understood it right, the sheriff that had retired, and so for the first for a year he was, because I think he was under sheriff or something, so he became sheriff, and then he was the only one that was running to become sheriff, so de facto, you know what I'm saying? When you're the only one on the ballot, he became sheriff again. So in 2024, he was reelected as sheriff. They do. I wasn't doing no official investigating though. I was there on some personal business with my mom, and I just literally wanted to try to get a copy of the sheriff department policy. And I figured they'd have it readily available. It's something they should have readily available for people. They shouldn't make people fill out FOIA requests for it to delay. Because clearly, if a civilian's in there asking for that, it's probably because they have something they want to complain about. You know what I mean? And they ain't dummies. They know it. I might have something to complain about. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was the response. Because I asked them to fill it out, tested their ADA compliance with, told them it's dyslexic, can't read, you know what I'm saying? I'm illiterate. Can you fill it out for me? Oh, no. Nope. I'll get around to it when I get around to it. Walked away with the form, shoved it in some box with zero information on it, and told me to get bent. You know what I mean? Luckily, like I said, his secretary was wise enough to do the right thing, and she didn't give me a hard time or anything. She tried covering for him. Well, I mean, everything my mom went through is done as far as court is. She pled guilty, pled no contest, paid $350 in a fine. They're trying to help her get her license back. So they sent her to this, what is it? They just called today. Someplace where you go get an alcohol and drug evaluation because she had lost her license 30 plus years ago for drinking and driving. My mom doesn't drink anymore. She'll be 70 here soon. You know what I mean? And so they made her go do the eval, and her eval's good, but there's been some BS with the paperwork, so they're trying to get things straightened out. And I just figured while I was there, it should have been real simple, no problem to get the department policy. And the sheriff wanted to make a big deal about it because he didn't want to help somebody that was disabled fill out a FOIA request. That's what it boiled down to. And he acted inappropriate. Now, it's going to be a little bit before I get the camera footage from the security room, even if they cough it up, because you know as well as I do, they can always make up reasons not to cough it up, and my willingness to struggle to get that little bit of footage, you know what I mean, might not be that great. But then again, it might be, and I might know people like BZ Watchdog that he likes getting public information. He's the kind of guy that might help a fellow out if needed. You know what I mean? But I think I'll get it. You know what I mean? No problem. And so, it won't be until next week when I get that. I'm sure they got 5 days to respond. And then I only asked for about 10 minutes worth of footage. Really, all I wanted was the time that I was in there interacting with the sheriff. You know what I mean? And that's it. And it wasn't much time. So I picked a 10-minute section, and that's all I wanted. So it shouldn't, I shouldn't have no problems getting that. It's not like it's a bunch of footage. It's gonna need a bunch of didacted or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Audio and video. I asked for. I made sure to say that. At the clerk's office, the deputy clerk, really polite, professional. She filled out the FOIA request for me. Had no problem. You know what I'm saying? So they all passed on that. The sheriff's the one who failed. Everybody else there's been great. You know what I mean? I've audited this place before. Maybe 2 years ago now, I went in there and did an audit. Maybe when I do the video, I'll put a little snippet in. You know what I mean? And drop a link, and you know what I mean, all that good jazz. Maybe I'll do that when I've got it edited, but it's not fully edited. Yeah, he's really good. He's a little dry sometimes to watch, but he's good. I watched so many auditors, and I've watched it for so long. I kind of like shoot for some of the entertainment behalf of it. You know what I mean? I've gathered a bunch of knowledge, but there's certain ones that I do watch to soak more knowledge from, and audit them is one of them. I thought about hitting him up on that FOIA request booklet he was talking about. It's like, hit me up. I'll get you one for your state and send it to you. You know what I mean? That dude's putting in some serious work. He's a smart mofo. I like him, and I like I Am Free Inland Auditing. That dude, he's smart as hell too. Long Island, of course, he's the golden boy standard in the community, right? You know what I mean? But kind of got a little bored with him. You know what I mean? But I still watch his stuff. Tell you who I don't watch so much anymore that I've gotten really bored with is Amagansett Press, man. This stuff just got boring. Am I wrong? You know what I mean? And I used to love, when I first watched auditing, I loved his stuff. You know what I mean? He's doing post offices and stuff like that. Another dude just like, I don't know, I find it kind of boring. Yeah, they are. Yeah. I don't believe in good policing. Sure, there is some good cops and some bad cops, but good cops that let bad cops do bad things are bad cops too. So, maybe Twisted Luck Truth and that one guy that if you watch any of his content down there in Florida, that one officer did he resign or whatever, the black guy, he might be one of the good ones. I mean, the way that stuff's been looking, he could be one of them, but if he is, he'll have a hard time being a police officer anywhere, and maybe he'll turn activist. You know what I mean? I think he'd be better off doing that. Personally, he's got the inside. We need more insiders. You know what I'm saying? Come out of the dark and into the light. You know what I'm saying? Out of the blue into the black. Once you go in, you never come back. Is that his name, Michael? Brendan Mitchell, what up? What up, man? How's people doing? They still got him? I haven't had time to watch anything today to get caught up on anything that's going on. After getting back from Newberry and dealing with that and kind of like decompressing from that whole situation, because it stressful, dude, really pissed me off. No updates, still locked up. Shit. That sucks. Drop a link for him drop some links to that videos. I don't know if there's anybody in here that hasn't seen it. I'd imagine everybody has that. Come here. Yeah, I think most of you guys are. Why no bail yet? Well, first they probably have to identify him. You know what I mean? Until enough pressure's put on, or it wasn't an illegal arrest. I mean, they might make you prove it, but the longer it takes, they'll play the game. The longer it takes to identify him, the longer it's going to take to process him. And I don't know how long they can keep people like that, but from my understanding, his tactics are to no eating, no drinking. You know what I mean? A complete shutdown. To where it makes it dangerous for them to keep him. You know what I'm saying? And it's all done passively.
Ronnie, can you do the back window? It's open. I can't do it.
No, back
This
there.
one. Some asshole opens it up and
Yeah, I'm that asshole.
We already knew. Sally showed it. One thing here where you're back and we're in the back.
Always leave the back glass
coming
on the
in?
truck open.
I'm not letting you back out.
He can stay out here with me. Leave them out here. Oh, I have to crawl through the window. I got a ladder. I'm not locking me up. Other than that, I think I'm gonna try to hit up some 4th of July events here coming up. They got some. I wanted to go to Marquette, but I got to work the 3rd, and that's when they have a firework and laser show, and I can't make it to that. After working and then driving an hour and a half to get there, it's just I'm gonna be wore out and all that junk. So I'm gonna go to St. Ignace, I think. I'm gonna have some good fireworks in St. Ignace for the 4th, just as long as it doesn't get rained out. It looks like we might get some rain. So, but then there's a couple other little places like here in town. I think we're having our fireworks here in town on the 6th. So last time I looked at the weather, look again. Okay. Well, today, this is for Portage. Where I want to go for the 4th. Need to check St. Ignace. All right. The weather looks better today. It was the day before yesterday. I looked at the weather, so it changes from. Looks like it might be in the clear then. Looks like we're gonna have some upper 70s, low 80s. So, and then the 6th it might rain. 70% chance of rain on the 6th now. And that's when the fireworks are supposed to be here in town. That's here. Looks like 5th and 6th here we could have rain. So, an hour away, looks like it might not rain. So, I don't know. I'm watching the weather to see what happens with all that. No, we're not free. Outlaw fireworks. That's ridiculous. Oh no, we have big fireworks around here. And fireworks in St. Ignace are going to be around the Mackinac Bridge. So if you get like the right angle, you'll see the Mackinac Bridge lit up and the fireworks. So I think I'm going to try to find that angle. I don't know. But I'm gonna get there early so I could check out the festivities a little bit and do some public videography, and you know what I mean. I'll probably be running a live, and I'll have a static, so I'll probably be live now that I got new phone and everything, and some good internet and. Yeah, he won't eat, drink, nothing like that. Yeah, he's one of the ones that he that's how he does it. You know, I don't know how well that works. You got to have great willpower. Big up to him if he's one of them people that can do that, man. You ever try to go like just 3 days without eating? You know what I mean? You could live 3 days without eating or drinking. Try it once, just for an experiment. You know what I mean? Bump that. I couldn't do it. I'm a fat dude. You know what I'm saying? Hell, 20, shit. 12 hours without eating. You know what I mean? You don't like me when I'm hangry. You know what I'm saying? I love them beers, huh? My mom used to tell me that my dad would say my dad was kind of a slender man. He was about 5'10 ish, 165-pound, Native American, black hair, dark skin, and Native American looking dude because he was Native American, and he drank a lot of beer, and he'd mama telling me that one of his things he'd say, "Yep, there's a pork chop in every beer." Mom be like, "You need to eat something. There's a pork chop in every beer." But anyways, guys, I think that'll cover it. We'll keep it under. We're gonna keep it well under an hour. I don't have anything else to rant about. Gave me a good excuse to test a live stream from my new phone versus my old phone. This is the old one, the old S21 Plus. Now I'm running on the S25 Plus. So she's pretty sweet. How's the video look? What do you guys get, like 1080p on this live? Yeah, it was good. Thanks for hanging out, Jeff, man. Yeah, I got testing my new wireless mic on this one too this time. I had a wireless mic and this port wasn't that great. You know what I mean? It's kind of loose because it's an older phone. So I was always worried that my sound wasn't sounding quite right. You know, so I shied away from it a little bit. But now that I got a brand new stinking phone, I got shotgun mic and wireless mic. So we're gonna have good sound now and great video, and we should be able to do good on live streams from now on. And I got the backup. You know what I mean? This is gonna be my static, and this will be like, oh well, maybe I'll run my lives off this one. I don't know how it's gonna play out. You know what I mean? But I'm set to go both ways because I'd like to get most of my static on this nice new phone, and then backup phone. You know what I mean? So, but with that. 720, change it to 1080, so you're getting good 1080. Nice. Yeah, I'm on my home Wi-Fi right now, so you should be crystal clear. It should be darn near as clear as what I'm looking at on my screen right now. You know what I'm saying? Tulip, love you, bro. Juggle asses, what up? You made it, man. You missed the rant. I'm gonna put this to members only. If you wanna catch up what I was on here bitching about, you're gonna kind of have to go back and get ready to bounce off of here. We'll keep it well under an hour. There you go. Tulip City, yep, Hollow, Michigan. But all right, guys. I can procrastinate forever. I appreciate everybody coming in. It's always hardest to say goodbye. I wish I could do it just like James Freeman does, you know what I mean? When it's just like